Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Rose, Tarot, and Astrology. I am your host, Mel Rose, and today is Friday, January 17, 2025. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for checking in on your regular current astrology. I hope you're all feeling happy and well, or as happy and well as you can be at this time. The sun is in Capricorn with Mercury, and the moon is in Virgo. But before we get into all of that, I want to remind you to like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That helps me out a lot. And leave a comment down below. We love interacting with you here. Sometimes it's me that says hello back to you in the comments, and sometimes it's my wife, Mrs. Jennifer Rose. But we appreciate you commenting all the time. And of course, we want to have these conversations with us. So let us know what's going on for you. We would love to interact. Okay, so Sun in Capricorn with Mercury. And the sun has been in Capricorn for almost a month now. It's about to move on into Aquarius. And here's the difference between Capricorn and Aquarius. Both are ruled by Saturn. So it's about security, it's about stability, and it's about the work we're willing to do to achieve security and stability in both of those signs. However, on the Capricorn side, it's more on a personal level. It's about my personal ambitions and goals, my personal sense of what the ultimate security would be like and what I'm willing to do to achieve that. And then when the sun gets over into Aquarius this Sunday for another month, and then for another month, it becomes more about collective uplift. And, where Capricorn wants to do things for ourselves that are traditional and we know what works. In Aquarius, it's more about the collective and what is secure for everybody. And so we're willing to break from tradition a little bit, try out new things if it adds up to our collective uplift. And the sun is approaching a conjunct with Pluto in Aquarius. A couple days after it enters Aquarius on Sunday, it's going to conjunct Pluto. And this is a very momentous vibe. It is going to illuminate for us some of the transformations and changes that we're going through personally and collectively. We're going to see probably things in the news. Not that I expect the news to be any less momentous than it has been for months and years now, right? But there is definitely going to be stuff in the news about how we are transforming toward really a greater collective support. And sometimes that feels like bad news, and sometimes it feels like good news. But the idea being that my security is tied to the security of all people and basically all life on the planet. So that is the awareness that we're inching into at this point, especially right here at the dawning of the age of Aquarius, where the next decades and so on, it's going to be much less about what I can get for myself and how I can just support me in my own, and more about what I can get going for the collective, and how I can be part of the rising tide that lifts all boats, be part of the collective support, and find my security there. So sun in Capricorn, it's at the very end. It's a good time to look back on how the month of the sun in Capricorn has gone for you. What have you discovered about your personal ambitions and goals, and what kind of work you're willing to do to reach them? It's a good time to reflect on that. The moon is a waning gibbous moon in Virgo. Moon in Virgo is a time to be sorting things out. It's time to weed the garden, edit the work, take things out that don't work, and throw out the empty bottles, and set up your, let's say, for example, your spice rack, right? Set up your spice rack with in an organized way, so everything is right where you need to get to it, and you don't have anything there that isn't working for you, right? So moon in Virgo on the waning side, this is really a time to be noticing that stuff that is empty, that stuff that no longer works for you, that stuff that no longer serves a purpose in your creative style and cycle. And I'm talking especially about stuff right now because Virgo is that earthen vibe, and releasing that stuff, letting go of that stuff, or those habits that add up to stuff, right? So that's the moon in Virgo. And currently it is opposite this near Venus-Saturn conjunction that is coming up this weekend. So moon being opposite this Venus-Saturn conjunction can have us feeling kind of some way about, what we know is practical and secure for us and what we are drawn to. Sometimes what we want is not what we need. Sometimes, there's a little bit of a rub between those two things. And so this is a time to be getting a little bit emotional about it, or a little bit intuitive about it, and just sort of noticing, especially in our private lives, in our homes, and among the people we keep close, like how we feel about what's practical and secure versus what we're attracted to. And then the next thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that the sun is sextiling Neptune today. So this is, we've had a lot of action and interaction with Neptune lately. Neptune is in the final degrees of Pisces, where it rules. And it is currently conjunct to the North Node in Pisces, where the North Node just moved out of Aries and into Pisces. So North Node is our collective trajectory. It is what we are all hungry for. And what this tells me is that we are all hungry for a little bit of a break, a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a chance to pause and reflect and sort of process and collate the experiences we've had, the feelings that we have, the intuition, the intuitive guidance that we have. Pause and reflect on how whole we feel, secure, spiritually, how connected we feel to the rest of the people and the rest of life on Earth. So that's something that we're really hungry for this time, especially being conjunct to Neptune. We might really idealize what that break would look like, that opportunity to pause and reflect would look like. So with the sun being conjunct to Pluto over here, or close to conjunct to Pluto over here, and Neptune being basically conjunct to the North Node, that says more to me about momentous news. It talks to me about, like learning something that we're hungry for, or realizing something that collectively we really desire and idealize, might be within our reach. Or maybe it's just what we're idealizing. Maybe we're idealizing that it's in our reach, right? When it's actually in our reach, but it's going to take a lot more work, because again, we're dealing with Aquarius here, and we're dealing with Pisces. So that's idealizing. It's also reflection. And then we're dealing with Aquarius, which is Saturnian. It is about doing what's responsible, what's secure for the collective. They're both very collective signs. So we are not just thinking about ourselves, we are thinking about everybody. We notice that people are going without things that they need. We notice that people are living, under calamity and distress. We don't want that for anybody. And so that is really what we're idealizing and trying to reach for at this time. Okay, and then the next thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that Venus is conjunct Saturn this week. That Venus and Saturn are basically going to line up in the sky next to each other. It makes these vibrations combined and under pressure. And what I want to say is, you can see this. Venus is the brightest star in the sky right now. It is just resplendent. It is sparkling. It is gorgeous. It doesn't twinkle. It is just a bright light in the sky. Some people have mistaken it for drones. So Venus is really easy to pick out in the night sky right now. And if you're looking at Venus in the night sky tonight, I would just look sort of up and to the left of it, and you'll see a dimmer star, and that's Saturn. Saturn is much bigger, but it's much further away from us than Venus, so we don't see it as well. But these two are going to align. That Saturn will be right above Venus in the coming days, and that can feel like those, that Venus is what we like, love, and can't get enough of, and Saturn is what makes us feel secure. And so it can feel like our ability to share love, or our ability to share resources, is limited. But it also can feel like we notice that we're attracted or drawn to what is practical and what adds to our personal and collective stability. So again, we're just noticing how that feels, because the moon is in opposition to it. We're noticing how that feels to us. And we're going to be thinking about, that idea of what's practical and secure versus what I want, what I need versus what I desire, right? And hopefully we can look at that Venn diagram and see where what I need and what I desire are overlapping, and really focus in on those things. And then the other thing that I want to talk to you about today is down in the lower left-hand corner here. That's Venus. That's the Venus-Saturn conjunction in a sextile with Mercury. So Mercury being sextile to this conjunction says that we can talk about it. We can say the serious or important thing. We can talk about what we think would be more secure and stabilizing for us personally and collectively. We can make the statement, we can make the plan, we can collaborate with others for our personal and collective security. I think that's really great news. So that is Friday and Saturday and Sunday of this week. I will be back on Monday to discuss the coming week with you. Let me take a quick look though. I just want to say that we have a pretty active week, including the Sun's conjunction to Pluto next week, Mercury trining Uranus, which means, maybe some good news that surprises us coming about. Venus trine Mars, meaning good news in our relationships, is coming up next week as well. So please tune in with me on Monday to find out more about that, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.